Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Underground Podcast. Before I start, I just want to say that based on the first episode, we have 200 overviews, and it's all thanks to people sharing our podcast. And we really appreciate all the sharing, all the likes given. We hope that you continue to support us so that we can actually give you more content on our channel. So for today, we have our guest, Aaron. Nice to meet you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Aaron, and I'm glad to be here at the Underground podcast with
Yeah,
Jojo.
so Aaron and we actually support the same idol years ago
Yes, yes.
together. That's right. We started
Mm.
around the same year, I guess. Did we?
Um, yes, we did. Basically, we did started looking at the same group in 2013, and for us to actually know the same group and meet up, exchanging photos and everything. But before that, we already know each other. But bring inside these underground ideas, yes, that would be the first time that we both been looking into the same step. Let's just say we step into the underground ideas era. Yes,
Yes,
our era.
that's right. So that was like roughly 9 to 10 years ago. Am I right to say that?
We could say that is approximately 10 years plus.
Correct.
10 years
So
plus, yes.
there is actually one question that I really want to call ask you regarding about this.
Okay.
So your first time, which is 10 years ago, roughly there, right? 10 years ago, when
Yeah.
you first met your idol, right? What is the impression that you give your very first idol?
Impressions. Okay. So basically for me it's slightly a little bit different because the first time that I actually saw my idol, it was on a New Year Eve event. So
Okay.
being it on New Year Eve is like a quite a special day itself. So I actually chance upon going to a live like this. Then that's where I actually first met um my Oshi from this idol group. And the first impression given to her is that wow, a foreigner actually coming to watch their live on a New Year's Eve, and in Japan some more. Yeah, so and the tickets that time was actually not easy to get, to be exact, because for special events, special days, their lives are actually not easy to get tickets.
Correct.
Right. So it's really ballot and I got it. So I actually went about it. And miraculously that day, right, the live being a countdown live, it was not at those wee hours like the midnights or so, but more towards it is put in an afternoon period, and they did a early countdown to the new year itself. So the impression that I gave it to her is that, oh wow, this is the first time I'm attending such a live.
Mhm.
I thought it would be a countdown live, whereas we count down to at 12 a.m. or so. But this time it actually count down at around approximately 4 p.m. or 5 p.m. depending on the live duration and everything. So I did actually bring up this topic to her, and she was like very impressed that suddenly, hey, oh, a foreigner actually came and meet me in such a situation itself, and being not a actual countdown live, but a countdown live made for a countdown event. Yeah.
So, in your opinion, is first impression very important to idol as a fan?
Okay, that is definitely a must because no matter what you do, okay, be it is idol or be it is anyone that made on the streets or made on the roads or being of friends and everything, impressions are made to make everyone knows you better. And being first time to actually meet an idol, first thing first, yes, language is one thing, but being able to speak maybe a simple few words of Japanese may impress them a little, and
Mm.
also that ways of communicating with them. I mean, maybe let them know how long you actually supported them. They
Yes.
might be slightly impressed on that.
So before you actually met the idol and give your impression, do you think that doing it on the social media, that means you haven't met your idol yet, right?
Mhm.
And you try to contact this very idol through social media at that time. Do you think that you still need to set that very first impression?
Oh, that one, I would say that first impression face to face is always important. I mean,
Okay.
for social media, don't forgetting that they might have more than 1,000 supporters or even up to 100K supporters or so. And replies can be more than 1,000 replies, and you
Yep.
are just part of one out of this 1,000 replies that is inside.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, there
Okay.
might be reply times and everything, but in cases whereby if the idol is not giving you a reply time, or if
Uh-huh.
there is no reply time and everything, how would you be able to impress them solely on the SNS platform itself?
So you don't believe that before you're able to see them face to face, right? You don't believe that your impression given on social media might not able to impress them to know that, oh, you are a foreign fan that's a fan of mine?
I would say there's pro and cons on it. Pro, if you are really very good in setting up your impression, right?
Yes.
Like doing some minor GIFs also and tagging her. That's yes,
Mm-hmm.
I can 100% guarantee you that once she saw these GIFs and everything, oh wow, this foreign fan actually supported me by doing a video of me or doing up
Mm-hmm.
some mini GIFs, everything that I can share with. So they will be impressed. Yes, of course. But if you were to say like effortless replies, just like maybe the either say Ohio, also
Mm-hmm.
good morning and everything. Then you just inside the replies putting in like, hey, hi, good morning. I mean, you are actually replying everything to be the same as everyone that is actually replying on that tweet itself. Would
Correct.
there be a difference or impression being created? I would say not really.
So what you mean
Unless
is actually that the idols might want to see things like maybe you are looking at some of their picture or maybe you're watching some live online, for example, and then you tag them the screenshot and say that you like her performance or this on social media, they might be impressed by you. Am I right to say that?
I could say that, yeah, because it brings out a separate impression. I mean, be it to be replies or anything, all these things that you have done right, it will give
Mm.
her a separate impression whereby, oh wow, this one is going as an extra mile. An extra mile be it to be different from other fans and anything, an extra mile to actually to try to impress her on how IT savvy are you. I mean, practically if we are people who do GIFs and everything, then
Okay.
the time capturing about the actual time capture on videos, their expressions and everything, that shows how much we wanted to impress her, that we know
Mm.
when is she coming up during some of the songs,
Correct.
or what are the expressions that she looks good in, and promoting her to other fans as well. These are some parts and meaning of impressions that is being created in terms of your actions done over the social media itself, be it to be via your Twitter, via your Instagram story, that would really cause a minor impression of it.
So I can say that it actually helps when it finally the time when you're able to meet your idol face to face for the very first time with all the things that you have done before you met her on social media. For example, as what you have already mentioned, all the examples.
Yeah.
And then
Okay.
after that,
Mhm.
you able to see her face to face for the very first time. Does that increase the chance of her actually knowing who you are once you say your name?
Okay. For me, practically, I tried both routes before.
Okay.
So, for the first one, yes, of course, for the first idol that I met, in the New Year Eve live. Yes, that one I have no preparation or anything because it's a stumble upon life, like I say. So prior to that, I was also new, so I did not know that how to create a very good impression to idols and everything. But moving
Okay.
forward, yes, many years later, I did try to talk a bit on the impression part, whereby making some small videos, GIFs, cut up their live, their performances, putting up
Yep.
on YouTube's,
Yes.
then spreading up to quite a couple of things. So that is for idols that I have not met before. So when I went to the live, I just say, "Hey, I let them know my name," and suddenly they say, "Oh, you are the one who created those GIFs that I always now use." Everything.
Mm-hmm,
So
mm-hmm. Yes.
bringing it back to us, there is that, the little things that we done finally has caused some impression in her, and
Okay.
she knows what we are doing. Yeah, so it does feels good and happy,
Mm-hmm.
but you really need to put in the effort, the extra mile lah. Yeah, that
Okay.
one is above your normal timing and everything. Yeah.
o- Okay. So, what do you think that after your very first impression, right? Do
Mm.
you think that subsequent impression has still to be given after the very first time? Like
That
second time, third time, you still need to maintain that kind of impression, or do you think that impression should be changed and improvised every single time you see her?
I would say expectation has to be met. This is the bitter truth. I mean, if you have started something,
Mm-hmm.
carry on to it. Um, but it will be hard to say, right? Because sometimes the idol might feel that, every time you're coming up with the same things and everything, is there
Mm-hmm.
any freshness to your actions or your impression creation? So
Right.
most probably now instead of being a fan that is going to make a create an impression to her, you will become a content creator instead.
Mm.
Whereas you create a impression for her instead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, be it how she's going to impress you or she's going to impress you. So yeah, you can actually try vice versa impression instead. So we will never go towards a one-sided impression.
Correct. So
Always.
you think
Mm,
that actually, like, if you support someone for many years, right? So
mm.
down the road, do you think that they might actually change their thinking about you compared to the very first time when you first met her?
That would definitely be. I would say it will definitely be.
Will it be on the good side or on the bad side?
Oh, like I said previously, there's pros and cons to it, and the cons is that there might be a darker side to it. For
So
for
what is
for
the
me,
darker side that you are referring
darker
to?
okay, darker side can be things like okay, so when I say impression creation, right?
Mm-hmm.
If times that your impression did not meet her expectations,
Correct.
all right. So there's two routes. One, uh, her interaction to you were lower down.
Uh-huh.
Be it to be during the event itself
Is it
or
very
via
obvious that their response to you will be
okay
different?
via SNS we really can't see because
Correct.
normally when they like something they like it
Mm-hmm.
as a whole, so everyone will garner the likes. But if you were
Yes.
to say during event, yes, you will see a very major change in the attitude towards you. That is
So
confirmed to be true.
during face-to-face talk, you are able to see that their response to you is no longer the same as the first few time when you went for them. Am I right to say that?
Yes, correct. So you will feel that the intervention will converse back to only like uh thanking them for the life,
Mm,
work hard for the life, may
correct.
your day tomorrow be better, everything like this. That's all. You will not have any other constructive conversation with them, or will they be even be interested in bringing up topics to you to actually to talk to you about?
Yes. So
Yeah.
as a fan, what do you think you can do to actually so-called improve this situation? Like, what are the things that you might want to say to actually make them continue giving that same level of expectation?
Same level of expectations.
Yes, like maintain the same level of expectation, or actually they might actually converse with you more. What will you try to do or try to say that will make them actually impress with you every single time? Instead of what you say, like they will actually lower down your expectation when times goes
Mm,
by, which is actually quite the truth. Because if you support an idol for too long, they know you too well, right?
yeah.
Expectation might actually become lower.
Yes, that
And
one is true.
yes, so what do you think can be done to actually so-called make things more fresh again? F-
I would say don't stay in one route. Like I previously told you all as well. So we can't be possibly okay. Let maybe one time you do GIF, then you do GIF all these years.
mhm,
No, you can't do that because the impression to from her is that do GIF is now easy for you and everything. You could have done it easily. Can you like do something more or beyond my expectations? Just
mhm.
one or twice to like spark up that interest of her in you and everything. So I would say that maybe do up a cycle of events. Maybe like one or two times you do GIF, then another few times you do like video, screenshots and everything. And always be the first one to actually to post up your impression of things. Be it to be like MV, you saw this part whereby hey she's look very good. Do up a
Mhm,
screenshot or do up a GIF, everything.
mhm,
So you don't say to only live. Be it you can make it into a sense whereby um when they have music videos, they have official live videos being posted on their official YouTube channels and everything. You can actually bring those mini stuff like cutouts and everything. It will really spark a little bit interest. This one is confirmed. The impression level will be higher. Yeah.
I see. So why I ask all this is because I just felt that because if you support an idol for many years, maybe
Mm,
sometimes we try to find creative ways to actually spark a conversation with our fellow, uh, idols or oshimen, right?
correct.
So yes, I think what you say is quite true. There are a lot of things that we can do to actually make them interested again, and because we always got chance to talk to them, especially at this kind of age where digital apps which enable us to talk to them so-called one to one, right?
Correct.
Yeah, and if we are going to have those normal conversation all the time, I guess nothing has changed from the very first time you met them, and down the years maybe the conversation will always be the same, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I am interested to know your point of view on this, and now I finally know that from your point of view that there are a lot of things that can be done, and I totally agree on that. So can I ask you next question is that how important is follow up to you? Because
I
as
would
a
mm,
foreign fan, right,
yeah, correct.
there are times where we are not able to see them in a year, right? So assuming that we can see them face to face is face to face as in person to person, right? Directly, right?
Yes.
And within a year, maybe once or twice. Let's just not say that there are times where you can travel to Japan more often.
Mm-hmm.
The average time that you'll be able to see them is like 1 to 2 times around there, right? So
One or two times we could say it to be this way if we were to say that be it to be traveling only to Japan.
correct.
Yeah.
So uh, what do you think that follow up is it important to you as in you might need to follow up in some way that hopefully she will still remember you in some sense.
Okay. So basically, one thing I have to say, sorry, because I just made the calculation first. Things that I'm going to say right now may not be, let's just say, may not be like for all of the people out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's just my own statement, my own impression, and my own experience. So COVID has struck us in 2020,
Uh-huh.
right? I would say that thanks to COVID, there's many new channels for us to actually meet them.
Yes.
This one you agree, right? So
Correct.
in terms of the digital channels, they did come up with a lot of new meet and greets via online basis. So be it also towards online signing
Mm-hmm.
and as well as how to say online lives. So the interaction there would be way more during the COVID period. But being said that, during the COVID period, with all these things on the rise, physical interaction is on the lower part. We are not
Correct.
able to fly to Japan or anything to meet them, or
Yes.
be it to fly to other countries that they might be going to. We can't go there. So during the COVID period, this is a down loss. And I would say that for me alone, I suffer quite a bit of to some of the ideas. I mean, because the follow up cannot be done in the correct manner. I mean, physical touch and physical everything. Not all idols also have digital platforms meet and greet. So this one is something that we have to take a look into a sense whereby what kind of follow-ups you're looking at. First, communication follow-up. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
we SNS is there. TalkPod, Fortune Meets, Limit Stars, Chekicha. All
Yes.
these channels are there for you.
Okay.
You can talk face to face with them. You can see them face to face. You can even text in the community chats and everything. So these are being created during the COVID period for interactions between the idols and the fans.
Right.
But
So
the,
before all this was created, what are the ways of following up with your idol? What are the solutions out there that is available before all this?
before all this, right? Before all
Yes.
this, I would just say that replying their tweets.
Okay.
And being Instagram there, Instagram is something that they will see. They will see more often. I mean, you commenting on their Instagram, you will receive more I mean they will view it more efficiently than tweets because tweets wise there's a lot of replies and everything from all her supporters and everything. But being said, Instagram, you might face the same situation,
Mm.
but commenting wise is way lower.
So there are
Lower than
ways to
numbers.
actually communicate before COVID, right?
Yes, COVID period there
So
is.
I'm curious, do you have incident of either forgetting you in that case?
Oh wow. I would say yes. Yes, there is.
So there is
There
such
is still.
incident where idols actually forgotten you. So
Yeah.
what makes you think that they actually forgotten you? Is it because your follow up not done enough, or is it because, as what you said just now, right? There are idols group where there are not enough follow up channel for you, which is why in the end they forgotten you. So in your opinion, why are there incident of this happening to you especially?
Mm, yeah, I would say that I did do my follow-ups lah. I would say that I did do follow-ups, but
Mm-hmm.
the follow-ups might not be enough because basically you also have to think that it will really depends on the idol itself, whether or not they are
Correct.
the popular personnel inside the group or anything. That one we with them being having so many fans and during period, there's so many other things that is created, but you can't join all of them.
Mm-hmm.
So that there is this situation whereby there is a break in communications because, like I say, rates we also need to look at currency rates. Currency rates during COVID period is definitely higher and in the dollar loss.
Uh-huh.
So we suffer that. And
Okay, so
everything is very expensive. Yes.
yeah, so what you're trying to say is that some things are expensive, and also based on the popularity of the idol, it might also cause some kind of a barrier for you to actually follow up properly with the idols. Am I right to say that?
Correct.
And that also caused the reason why they forgotten you is because the lack of follow up methods available out there.
Mm.
Do you think that, for example, on Twitter, tweeting them, will you think that is enough for you to actually follow up using Twitter itself? Like every single tweet, you try to tweet them and make sure that, even like all the good morning tweets, all this, right? You are still trying to follow up by saying good morning to them and so on. And maybe some of the other tweets that you think you can reply to. Do you think that is still enough? Or do you think that you still need to try to get onto those apps that you're talking about, or some other methods available in order to do that proper follow up with the idols?
I would say that 50-50. 50% of those that I would say idols that appreciate people who replying tweets, yes, they might look into this option whereby looking at their tweets and remembering their fans.
Hmm.
But 50% of those idols, right, we will say that, oh, they will look into facts whereby converting via all these meet and greets will be a better choice for them. And they will be able to remember you by looking at you.
So do you think
But
that idol actually reads every single fan's tweet?
I would say they do.
No
They do.
matter what is the quantity that they have, they will still
They
try to
will
read
they will
all.
try to slowly read, or
Mhm.
else they do sampling lah. Yeah. Because for those very popular ones, I can say that their replies can reach up to maybe 1,000 plus. Couldn't be
Yes,
possibility for them to read every one of them.
correct.
But if it comes to reply time, then they have no choice lah. They have to reply one to one. Yeah. But ultimately, I would say sampling. There's the sampling involved. So yes, you are not wrong for you to say that if you were to actually reply on every tweets,
Hmm.
it does come up with an impression, or let's just say come up with a percentage of times that you will be your tweet, or let's say your replies will be read,
Uh-huh.
right? But there
Correct.
are times you will be ignored because, like I said, samplings. So they might have gone through, right? So no
Okay.
matter how much you write, how much you type in everything, if she never see, means she never see. That's the bitter truth. I mean, yeah.
So you still think that there are chances where your tweet might not be seen in some of those tweets that they posted? Am I right to say that?
Yes. And I have to make this statement is that idols liking your tweet does not mean that she read your tweet.
Okay, so they actually press like, but doesn't mean they actually read what is your content. Or they
Yes.
actually don't see who is the person that's behind that tweet.
Mm, you can say that.
Okay. But despite all this, do you still encourage people to continue? Or instead, they have to put in less effort on the social media part, but they actually put more effort on the so-called talking apps and so on, which
Mm.
is more effective in some way, yes. So in your opinion, do you put less effort on the social media part and more effort on the talking app? Or actually you should do both to see whether there is result? So in your opinion, which is actually the more preferred way?
If financial capabilities is being okay with you, then yes, I will try both. But if not, go back the traditional manner.
So those who has no financial ability, right? For example, it might be hard for them to do all these so-called talking apps, right? Because
Yeah,
we
because
all
it's
know
not
how
cheap.
much it costs. Yeah, correct. We all
It's
know how
not cheap.
much it costs. So what are the ways for them to actually follow up and maintain their relationship with the idols,
I
as
would
fan
say
and
that
idol?
correct.
Yeah,
So previously I already said do the impression sequence by cutting out online lives and everything because during COVID period, online lives are there and they are
correct.
way cheaper than doing the face-to-face meet and greet and everything. I
Mm-hmm.
mean via the online platforms and everything. So be it to be said this method, there's still some chances, some little chances that will say whereby forgotten will still happen. Be it
So
how
there are
much you try.
still cases where idol might still might
Yeah.
still forget about you lah, without your, even if despite you follow up with them, there are still cases that they might forgot about you. Am I right to say that?
Yes.
Okay. So what do you recommend for people who can't even see live? For example, you just mentioned about live as well, right?
Mm.
Online live might not be free also, right?
Online life definitely is not free,
Yeah.
but it's definitely cheaper than definitely cheaper than doing up meet and greets. I mean, meet and greets is a long way. I mean, every day they will be opening like meet and greets slots and everything. You can't do it like every day, right?
Mm-hmm.
And lives, I would say, if you hit up certain lives that has many groups inside, it's a value. It's a value added whereby you can not only do gifs to one, but you can do gifs for many. This one,
Okay.
so
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 you're
you
trying to
must look
say
into
that
the
you actually have multiple groups. So by doing this, you're actually able to do
save
it
the
for.
money, yes, and also do up your impression in the most value added amount that you have.
So if you got multiple Oshi, multiple groups to support, how difficult is it to follow up with all of them then?
Mm, wow, I would say it's really hard.
Because we only talk about following up with one idol, right?
Yes,
But we
correct.
didn't actually mention that you might have multiple, right? How do you actually follow up with all of them? Is it using the same method, but actually you are doing multiple of them, or is that also the reason why you got forgotten because you got too many to follow up?
I would not admit to the part whereby I got too many to follow up though. Because during
Ah,
COVID period, I actually died down a lot. For me, I did stop a while for Japanese idols, so that
mhm.
might be one of the cause of forgotten.
So during that period, what are you doing actually? Did you actually still tweet to that idol that forgotten you, or you completely didn't do that? That's why you got forgotten.
I would say that I did my most effortless and minimum efforts.
Okay.
Yeah, because my focus will be towards other stuff already. So during that period, actually I stepped into another realm, like another country's underground idols and
Yes.
everything. So I did not really stay too focused on Japanese idols. The Japanese idol focus came back only in COVID period,
Mm,
which is in
mm,
2020. So for the period of 2018 all the way to 2020, yeah, I did start, stop a bit. And but some of the idols, yes, I follow up all the way. Those that I really support to the max.
Oh, so there are still other Japanese idol that you actually still follow up.
Yes, I do. So be it their lives, everything I will still look. Goods I will still buy.
Mm-hmm.
Online check-ins I will still buy. Meet and greets I still meet. But if you were to say for idol groups that can only meet physically when there, it's
Mm-hmm.
very hard to actually to maintain that physical connections.
So we go back to that point where it's because you have multiple
Mm,
and you only prioritize the few that you still want to follow up. And then those you
mm,
didn't actually forgotten you.
yeah, kind of.
Okay.
So ultimately, moral of the story, if you want to be a DD, you can do a schedule of your time and towards how many idols that you can actually manage your goal. But if can't, just don't be a TT. Serious. Yeah. You'll be
So you,
wasting
if
a
you
lot of
cannot,
effort.
so if you cannot multitask, for example,
Yeah.
and that is the reason why you might have higher chance of being forgotten.
Yes.
Okay. So impression also, is it the same? Like since you got multiple idol also, you know, then you have to impress many different idol as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is it the same thing? Like you also have to prioritize who you want to impress the most, or who you want to impress the least.
Mm, yeah, I would say that yes, you might need to prioritize a bit. I mean, the way that I would feel that I would want to interact with people that really would interact to me back, to be exact.
So it's dependent on how you like that particular idol.
Mm,
That you will do the follow up and you will do the so called impression. And the one that you don't really, I won't say you don't like the most, as in the least favorite one will be the one that maybe you might not follow up as closely, and maybe you might not impress her as much. Is it the case?
I would say it's the time of your attention span towards a certain things. I mean, I would say that either groups they have their ups and downs. And
Mm-hmm.
most of the time when a lot of members leaving the group, right, is their downtime period. Be your idol will still be in or not, that is how you actually prioritize your idol rankings. And if that idol ranking is semi and the group is really on the download side with all the members like leaving and everything,
Mm-hmm.
leaving only like her alone there, you will have this feeling whereby, oh, maybe I should stop this other group.
Okay.
Or maybe I should just lessen the time spent on them.
Right.
Because during their downtime, I would say that a lot of things are stopped for them also.
Correct.
Their discography will confirm will be down. No new singles coming out. Even there's new singles, right? Their fan base is ever changing because new members coming in, new set fans coming in.
Mm-hmm.
So your interaction or when you need certain help from certain fans to help to do up their impression,
Yep.
you need to be able to get because their oshimen has left and
Mm.
they leave the group together with them. Then it's
Correct.
like suddenly you have no friends to do it.
Ah.
And being in this kind like when we say idols, right? For I would say that there's still some sparks between fans who like certain I mean who's Oshi the same person.
Mm-hmm.
Because we will say that, oh maybe if I help you, what is it for him? Or if you help me, what is it for me?
Mm.
There's still these small doubts that we have.
I see.
So we will not approach to somebody that is already an Uchi back because they will rather use their time to talk to them and everything. Or even if you want to have them ask them to actually do up a check-in purchase, yes, sometimes they will appreciate because they got free time to talk to them. But be it say free time to talk to them, they will still need to put in some good words for you, which is hard for them,
Right.
right?
Right.
So they will not do it. So your only chances is to get somebody who Oshi, another Oshi, to go over to that one. Yes, then they might help.
Mm. Oh, so
But
you're trying to say that the follow up part will be, or to impress actually, is having another idol in the same group helping you.
yeah,
Okay. So the impression might not be your Oshi, but actually it's another idol helping you to give that impression.
Mm,
Okay. Well, I mean, it's true. If the other idol who knows you in the group is able to help you, that might actually improve the impression as well. That one I do agree on it. So ultimately, I guess the main point is that impression for the first time is actually very important. Am I right to say that?
that's a definitely.
Okay. And do you agree that follow up is also very important? Is because especially us who is a foreign fan who has lesser chance to see them face to face, right? We have to think of ways to maintain and follow up. Do you agree on that as well?
I totally agree that impression should be forged by you
Mm-hmm.
and maintained by you. If you can't meet up with your own expectation of the impression that you build within people, then don't create such a persona and create such an impression to people.
I see.
Because the
So
one that
you
are
also
probably
must
being
have the
hurt,
ability to follow up. Am I right to say
yes,
that?
correct.
Mm.
That's true. And be humble in
Be
maintaining it.
humble. I see.
Yes.
So I guess this is a very interesting take from Aaron regarding about following up and impression because as we have closer interaction with idols, there are just times where we actually think about all these things, right? Because like when we first met our idols, what is the kind of impression that we can give them within that first one-to-one talk, right? And
Yes,
then
correct.
trying to maintain and follow up is because we are hoping that during those gaps that we cannot see each other, hopefully they will still remember from that very first impression. And also when there are times where we able to go back and see them that time, they will still remember who you are, right?
Correct.
Yeah. So I guess everyone has their own ways of doing. And what Aaron shared was actually his own way of setting impression and trying to follow up. If despite he still has cases of either forgetting him,
Don't talk about it.
yeah, but that is not most of the case, right? There's only like
Yeah, that's
how
the
many
it's very rare to be exact. I mean, for me
how
to
many
date
idols have forgotten you actually?
two, I would say two,
Two.
two,
Okay.
two significant ones. Yeah.
So the two is actually you didn't follow up much more than the rest
I
that
would
still
say
remember you.
that, like I say, during the period of 2018 to 2020,
Mm.
these 2 years gap, yeah, it has caused this problem. But for one of them, it was quite longer. It was a 4 years gap. But
Okay.
in the midst of COVID, I still buy some science singles and everything. But since that it did not respect that impression in her, so yeah,
Yeah. So that's an interesting sharing. I guess we could conclude most of the things here from this session. I would like to hear more of that next time. So
yeah,
I
of
guess
course.
this is the end of the podcast, and thank you, Aaron, for sharing your experiences.
Thank you for
It,
inviting me as well.
no problem. And I'll be happy to talk to you about many other things because I personally know that we support the same groups, right? So I actually know most of the things, but I didn't hear much from you personally. So I guess we have another session that we could actually do more to actually hear from you instead.
Yeah,
So
sure.
yeah. So thank you once again, and thank you to everyone who helps to share our podcast and like and subscribe. Please support us because our channel will have more this kind of content coming. We are actually a channel that wants to talk about experiences of all the different idol fans, more of their personal experience. We are not trying to promote any specific idol group, especially because we want to share our experience to make people interested in supporting Japanese idol as a whole. So please look forward to our next podcast episode and we are also planning for other content ready for the channel. So remember to help share and like and subscribe. Once again, thank you, Aaron. Do you want to say anything?
Nah. So we also thank that everyone to share this podcast, the first podcast as well, and a subsequent podcast to come, because for us to really want to show our efforts, or let's just say to show ways to actually to improve your interactions with others, and also through we really wish that through our sharings you'll be able to gain something in return.
Yes.
Yeah, because experiences that we have is over the years, but just says memories are going to be forged by you,
Wow,
impressions are going to be forged by you as well.
yes,
So yeah, we can't
that's very good.
correct. So we can't alter what will happen to you, but at least as a guide or guidance to you. Yeah. Treat our podcast as something like a guidance to you to put you on the correct track, or maybe to further venture your tracks to another route. Yes.
Wow, very good words. So once again, thank you, Aaron. We
All
will
right.
just say bye bye from here on, and please look forward to our next episode. Thank you, everyone.
Bye
Bye bye.
bye.